Uh, Good afternoon, my lovelies. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all fit and healthy. Um, just thought I'd pop on and do a quick update, some kind of grumbles and rants, and a couple of positive things that I've read that I think people need to know about. People should be happy to hear. Ranting time first. Obviously, people are still acting like complete and utter selfish dickheads in the shops. Not as bad as earlier in the week, but people are still kind of snatching things out of people's trolleys, and the minute a certain shelf's full up in the shops, they're kind of attacking it like it's a zombie apocalypse is upon us. Um, as I said before, they will find a cure for this virus, and we will get through everything that's going on to do with this virus. But the only thing you can't cure is fucking stupidity. There's no known cure for that. There's no vaccine for that. It's incurable. So I think going forward, if you see someone acting like a dickhead in a shop or acting like a dickhead outside, apparently there's a group of people now that are deliberately getting together in large groups and meeting outside because it's apparently to do with the Dunkirk spirit. No, it's not. You're just basically causing more problems, because if a big group of you are gathering, you could be spreading it. So you're being fucking idiots. Again, it's these people. I'm not going to be told what to do. I'll do what I do when I want, how I want, without thinking about anyone else's around them's health or well-being. So those dickheads, basically stick a water cannon on them. Go out there with a water cannon. If you see people hanging around in mass groups, just generally sticking two fingers up at the advice the governments give, water cannon them off the fucking streets. That'll keep them off. The other thing I think we should be allowed to do, if you see someone acting like a complete twat in a shop, I think the order of the day is twat a twat. If you see them, twat them. And we shouldn't be prosecuted for it. We should be encouraged to do it. I think on the news at the end of every broadcast, we should have twat of the day, of someone who's twatted someone who's acting like a twat, and said this person was seen with 15 packs of toilet rolls, so they were twatted in Sainsbury's. Good. I think we should be able to do it. In actual fact, if I could, I'd get t-shirts printed up saying twat a twat, because I think these people need outing, these people need shaming, and these people need to be basically told and put right on what they're actually doing, because not only are they just being selfish, they're also causing other people potentially to become ill, and they're also stopping other people from getting food and stuff like that. And they're also looking at spreading the virus around because they want to hang around in large groups, because they won't be dictated to by a government. So, order of the day, hopefully I can get this phrase trending. Hashtag twat a twat. Let's try and keep this going. Let's try and get that going. Let's have it as like the phrase that Boris comes out and his party come out with, not just we get things done. Let's have Boris coming out saying, if you see someone acting like a dickhead in a shop, twat a twat. Can you imagine that, having him come out on a news article? So don't forget, hashtag twat a twat. The other thing I'm still concerned about, I can kind of understand this whole thing of closing the schools down. What I don't understand is surely that is going to generate more people outside running around recklessly. You're not going to be able to control kind of like the 12 to 18 year old category age group and tell them to stay indoors. They just won't do it. Most teenagers are just going to strop off out the house, and then they're going to be running around the streets. And there's nothing to say that because this virus doesn't affect teenagers in the way that it takes hold of older people, there's nothing to say that teenagers couldn't be carriers. So it could be they don't feel the symptoms, but they carry it and spread it all around the place. So they're running around, basically running roughshod all over the high streets and all over the parks and everything, because they've got nothing else to do because everything's closed. They could be spreading it. So all the hard work and all the effort people are putting in staying in could be completely undone by groups of moronic teenagers just rampaging everywhere because they've got nothing to do. I've already heard reports of these dickhead teenagers thinking it's incredibly funny to walk up to old people and cough in their face and frighten the life out of them by doing that. This is the kind of fucking mentality we have of some, not all teenagers, but I want to point that out. It's not all teenagers. It's just a collective that are completely selfish, and they always have been. They just think about themselves and how much trouble they can cause and how much problems they can cause. So to go around and kind of, coughing in people's faces, fucking idiots. And these are the kind of children and teenagers we've unleashed into the wild, so to speak, because we've now said to them, you can't go to college, you can't go to school, you can't go to high school, you can't go to uni. We've closed everything down. So was it really a good idea to do that? Couldn't we have just kept them in and done something kind of to keep them in rather than let them just run wild? Because let's be honest, most of the parents of these kids aren't going to want them indoors all the time. They're going to be under their feet. They're going to encourage them to go out. And then as soon as they're out and they're out of sight, that's when they start behaving like absolute fucking idiots. And we get that even before the coronavirus. We have, rampaging teenagers acting like twats. The other thing they could have done, and obviously if I'm not thinking of saying here, feel free to kind of respond back. The kind of 16 to 18 year olds that we're kind of saying you can stay at home now, why not get them doing something that helps the cause of this virus? Why not get them helping to put together these ventilators and give them some money for doing it? Why not get them helping to help people who can't help themselves? So get them to help dropping off food packages outside people's houses and stuff like that. Get them doing something positive rather than them sitting on their fucking asses at home or going out on the streets and being a menace and causing antisocial behaviour problems. Get them doing something positive. That was the whole thing when we had the war, that people all worked together and all helped each other. This is what we can do with this. Don't let these people just sit around all day and just get bored. Give them something to do. Make them useful, because that's what we need. We need people to pull together and be useful and all look out for each other. The positive that could come out of this whole thing when it's all kind of said and done is that people might start being a bit more considerate and looking out for people more. So the behaviours we kind of pick up while this virus is going on carry on once the virus has gone, and people become more caring and more kind of thinking of the bigger picture rather than themselves. And if any positives can come out of this, that would be absolutely fantastic, that we could get people thinking differently. I've already seen on the BBC News website, and fair play to them, 10 out of 10, they're putting stuff on there, positive stories that's come out of this coronavirus thing. It's not all gloom and doom. They've said that they've noticed in Venice, the canals, the water's now started to become a lot clearer because there's less people travelling around. Their pollution rate has come down so dramatically that the actual waters for the canals around Venice, the water's actually going clear. It's actually cleaner than it's ever been for years. I also saw that the River Liffey in Ireland apparently is running clear at the moment, and it hasn't done for years because of this pollution dying down, where not so many people are travelling around and people are being more considerate. I saw that in America they've seen a 50% drop in carbon monoxide in their air quality just over these last few weeks with that. China said they've noticed the same thing. The smog that used to hang over China is pretty much half what it used to be before this started. Other positive things that come out is obviously to keep people engaged because they're isolating. People are going online and doing positive things, like people are holding art classes online, so you kind of paint along with them, or they're various different crafts. A lot of the top chefs are doing live cook along with them sessions where you can learn to cook a meal watching them on the screen at the same time. There's been a huge uptake and a huge interest now in crafts. So things like drawing, painting, pottery, all these things are now all of a sudden people are Googling them more often, and they're looking at more things online about how you do these things. People are becoming more engaged. They're not just looking for digital media. They're using digital media to do something creative. And if that's another positive that comes out of this, that people now become more creative and start to do more non-digital focused things, like instead of sitting in front of a TV screen just watching TV, they're actually sitting in front of a TV screen and learning a new skill, for instance, that is great. That is fantastic. I'm going to try and look on YouTube and various other kind of outlets to look for some of these online do things along with an expert and give you some feedback on it. If any of you have done it, give me some feedback on it. I know that there's going to be online schooling that kids can use, and I know that some parents will be keen to do that to keep their kids' education levels up. There are going to be other parents that won't give a shit and they'll just let their kids run wild, moan about the fact that they're home and under their feet, but they won't do anything to try and combat the issue. There are rumours that this could go on with the kids being out of school all the way until excuse me, the summer holiday. So all the way until kind of July, August, September time. Now that's a long time. And I think we need to hopefully, if everyone can just do as they're told, and it's not that we're being preached to, it's not that we're being controlled like a communist government would do. We are being asked to do these things to try and lessen the serious effects that this have. Try and not end up with a situation that Italy's got. Try and not end up with a situation that China had. The difference is China and Italy dealt with it and they didn't have all the problems we're having, and we haven't even hit the worst point yet. That Italy haven't had a problem with people going and ransacking shops. People just went about their business, go in, pick their stuff up, walk out again. China didn't have these problems. China done pretty much a lockdown, a total lockdown, and kept people out of shops and kept people indoors. And yes, it took hold for like 3 months there, and it was quite serious. But now they're seeing fewer and fewer cases day by day by day. Italy will turn a corner, and they will end up in a better situation. They're in their kind of peak of how bad it's going to be. Germany, on the other hand, have been testing more people than any other country in Europe, and they're noticing a severe drop in how many cases they're getting and how many people have died. I think at the moment their level of people that have passed away during this kind of virus is only just about entered into double figures. They're not in treble figures like we are. They're not in quadruple figures like Italy and China have. I think they're about something like 48 people across the whole of Germany, but they are doing 5 times more testing of people to see if they've got the virus than we are. So there could be a lesson to be learnt there. Test more people. Every cloud has a silver lining. Unfortunately, with what's going on, they've halted the filming of certain programs, so no more soap operas. Thank fuck for that. So that's great. So hopefully we'll get something on the TV that replaces that, that's a bit more watchable. At the moment, people are watching EastEnders to fucking cheer themselves up. So hopefully we get some decent stuff put in its place. You know, let's put some old sitcoms on or some old classic programs and have a bit of nostalgia and a bit of kind of looking back at better times. A lot of programs have been affected going forward. So today, you know, I went to watch Sunday Brunch. For health and safety reasons, they couldn't do their program, and that's off the air for the foreseeable future until such time. I know that Ant and Dec done their show last night, completely empty studio, just them and the crew. And I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but at this point in time, anything that comes on the TV that isn't just ramming how bad things are down your throat and saying it's just a bit of escapism or a bit of fun. I mean, okay, they might not make you laugh, but at least it isn't just gloom and doom. And 100%, my hat went off to them yesterday. They've done a fantastic job in very difficult circumstances, and they kind of lifted the mood a bit for the evening. So, you know, more of that kind of things, please. Obviously, we don't want to put film crews and people in jeopardy and at risk by making these programs, but if every now and again we can do something fun like this, then great. We can always keep our fingers crossed that programs that are cancelled while it's on are all the programs that have that dickhead Ryland Clark Neal presenting them, because if anything can keep him off the TV, I'm 100% behind it, because that man is a first class bellend. He's on everything, but everything he seems to be on at the moment could be cancelled unless it's been pre-recorded, which I've got a horrible feeling a couple of his things are. So we're going to have to see that goon on the TV probably more often. He's pretty much on everything at the moment. But if we can keep him off the TV with anything that's live that he's due to do, every cloud has a silver lining. Like the Eurovision Song Contest being cancelled, I don't see that as a negative. It's a complete and utter fucking waste of time. Europe hate us. They hate us even more because of Brexit. So we'd be entering a competition that we would have literally no fucking chance whatsoever of not finishing bottom. And we don't have to sit and listen to drivel all night with these weird and wonderful. I know some people find it entertaining, but it is like 3 hours of fucking rubbish. So if that's been kept off the air this year, people are up in arms about this. This song I read and it did make me laugh. People are up in arms because this year's entrants for the Eurovision won't be allowed to come back next year when they hold it and do the same song. Every country's got to come forward with a whole new song. They can't use what they were going to use this year. Everyone's got to use a new one. And everyone's up in arms then about how terrible this is. It's not fucking terrible. The song was shit anyway. Most of the songs are shit. You're not going to get the best songwriters in the world writing songs for the Eurovision, because if their song comes bottom, that's their reputation shot for being a songwriter. So it's not a bad thing. The song that we had this year was the same old drivel we normally get. So I don't really consider that to be an upsetting thing as such. Another thing I think would be good and would look really, really good on behalf of companies is companies like Sky and BT with their kind of TV subscriptions. For the foreseeable future, just make it fucking free for everyone. Anyone who's got a dish, just unlock everything, let them have all the movies and just let them have it free for the next few months to get people over this self-isolation thing and open up a world so people don't feel so upset about having to stay in because they know they can put on the latest blockbuster movie on their TV. I know Now TV at the moment have got this thing where you can unlock and lock different channels and different packages month by month, so you can go and think, oh, this month I want this, but next month I don't. So yes, they're not getting their revenue in for the sports because a lot of people are cancelling their sports packages, but how about a nice bit of PR, Sky? You normally are quick to rip people off. How about looking good in a bad situation and saying, do you know what, if you're a Sky subscriber for over a year, we're going to unlock all the movie channels and all the entertainment channels and all the kids channels, so you've got everything to watch. So if you want to keep your kids in, there's something to keep them happy. You want to watch a film in the evening to pass the time away, you want to keep up to date with things, all the channels are unlocked. Do it for 3 months. You know, the money that they make, they're not going to lose out of it by doing that. And it'd be a great bit of PR. It would help a lot of people that are isolating, that are alone anyway, to kind of keep them going, because that's going to be the toughest thing for people, is if we do have this kind of 12-week lockdown that's been rumoured, we're going to need to do something while we're locked up indoors. And the terrestrial channels just want to literally bombard us again and again with the same things about the coronavirus, and you want a break from that. You need a break from normality. You need a kind of escapism. And Sky and BT could do exactly that. Just unlock everything for 3 months and let people have a whole new world open to them. You know, you can make a big thing of it. You know, if the whole family's got to isolate, say, right, Friday night we're going to sit and watch the blockbuster movie on Sky, and we're going to sit and watch it together as a family and do things together, because that's where things could come positive out of this. This could make people more aware of how precious spending time with your family is. I mean, today is Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day to all the mums out there. And people have taken the advice and not gone to visit their mum today, for fear, if they've got elderly parents, for fear of spreading it. And it's a hard decision to make, but it's the right decision to make. If you love your mum or your dad or elderly relatives, it's going to be hard, but surely it's just it's a short-term harsh measure for long-term gain. You know, keeping your family alive. If someone gives me the option of saying, look, you can't visit certain members of your family for 3 months, but it means that they've got an absolutely minute chance of becoming ill and dying, then I'm all for that. It's going to be heartbreaking, but we've got things like now, you know, people can go online and WhatsApp people and do like video calling and FaceTime, and people can go on Skype, and people can leave messages for each other on YouTube. You can do live broadcasts from YouTube. Another positive that's come out of this whole thing is artists are coming forward and doing free live concerts over YouTube that you just log on and watch. So okay, if the music's not your taste, but at least the sentiment's there, the, you know, hopefully going forward other artists are going to jump on this bandwagon and do these like little concerts where they're in the studio and anyone can log on and watch and it's not costing any money. And these are the positives that we've got to draw on. When people are offering things as a way of getting through this, we've got to use it, because I've said this before and I say it again, we will get through this. We will come out of this the other side, and hopefully we'll learn lessons from it. It could be, and it's not a conspiracy theory thing, by the way, I'm going to say, it could be nature's way of telling us that all this thing about people staying in and that is reducing pollution, and it could be nature's way of kind of giving us a smack on the wrist and saying, right, learn from this, learn from your mistakes, and carry on in the way that you've had to carry on whilst the virus was here. Carry on being nice to people, carry on looking out for people, carry on being more conscious about the world around you than you were before. And if this virus does cause people to behave differently and be better people, then the virus was awful, and obviously people dying is not a good way of kind of putting something right. But if we can take any positive 3, 4, 5 months down the line from this situation that we've never faced before, no one in my lifetime, I've never seen anything like this. But if we can get a positive out of it, that'd be great. So I'm going to leave you now. I'm going to try and do one of these every day, unless I can't think of anything to talk about. But if you can think of anything you'd like me to talk about, I'm going to be doing these videos and putting them straight onto YouTube. I'm having nightmares trying to put videos up on Facebook. They take like a day and a half to upload a video. So I'm hoping the YouTube channel, I'll be uploading onto that. So what I want, if you can all subscribe to the YouTube channel, give me some thumbs up that you like the videos. If you don't like them, say you don't like them. Say why you don't like them. Tell me what I could do to improve it. Tell me what you'd like me to talk about. Give me topics to talk about. Give me topics that you know you've heard me rant about in the past and you know it's going to rattle my cage. Because that's good. If it rattles my cage and it makes you laugh watching me kick off, then that's a good thing. It's going to help things going forward. And if you can give me some positive things to talk about as well, so I can kind of go and hear some good things, we can do like a good and bad thing. So kick off with a rant, end on a positive. Anyway, as I said before, and I'll say it again, please stay healthy, please stay safe, please look out for each other and everyone, even if you're not related, even if they're not friends, but you just know of them. Everyone look out for each other. We will get through this, and we'll talk about this in years to come and go, do you remember we had that tough time? But we've come through it, and we've come through it, and some people have become better people for it. So, enjoy the rest of your Mother's Day. Any mums, happy Mother's Day. I will probably see you tomorrow with another rant update. As I say, please don't forget, get on this YouTube channel, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. The more people subscribe and stuff like that and views I get, the more I'll be inclined to kind of do it. I will still keep the Rich T Facebook page up and running for you to post stuff on there as well. So that's all from me. Take care, my lovely. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully tomorrow is another day. Bye bye.